Today on my channel, Planner Friends, I want to talk a little bit about why I am a creative planner versus a minimal or just functional planner. I have actually come up with 4 reasons why, and now that I've hit 1,000 subscribers, thank you very, very much for that. I want to talk to you about what this has meant to me and how it might benefit you as well. So why don't you join me? We're going to do some flip throughs and I'm going to chatter. And I love videos like this where we just talk. So grab a cup of something. I have a mug of tea, new mug alert. And yeah, let's have some fun and talk creativity. Stay tuned, friends. Hello, planner friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm One Crafty Dolo. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Thank you for the gift of your presence, of your time. Gosh, isn't time our most valuable resource? We always think it's money, but it's actually time. If you're new, you're welcome to join my growing community. I like to create a happy place on the internet. If you're returning, if you're a subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your likes and your comments. Alrighty. I sat down and, I didn't feel like doing a normal plan with me video. I do plenty of those, but I wanted to talk to you today about why I'm a creative planner and what it means to me as I do some flip throughs. So the truth of the matter is I got into planning as a way to manage anxiety, as a way to be organized. It came into my life at a time where things were really difficult. I'm being honest with you here. I'm always transparent on my channel, and I needed to find an outlet, if you will, to make sense of things, to help me with work. So I originally had spiral planners, I had some disc planners, and I've gone back and forth, but really where I started to understand my creativity, this is a Carpe Diem A5 binder, and it was in terms of my faith planning. Now, the ideas I give you don't have to be faith. It could be anything. But what I started to realize is that creativity for me, it's a form of self-care. All right. It's important to me. It's become important to me. And so as time has gone on, it's just become integrated into my life. So let me just outline. I'm a former professor. I'm an educator, historian. Let me give you the 4 reasons why it's important. Self-care, a double-step process helps me. Discovering hidden talents, and creativity begots more creativity. I didn't know what I was doing. And when I first started in planners, I thought, oh, I just need stickers. I bought a bunch of sticker books. Didn't we all back in the day? It was like, oh, buy the Happy Planner sticker books, and you stocked up on them. And then you were like, wait a minute, what am I doing with all these? And then slowly I started to get into rubber stamps and clear stamping. As you can see here, I have stamping. Then I started to get into inking, and it just washi tape, and it just went woof, right? So you can see in here, I always try to create happy spaces. Yeah, this is really important. So the number 1 reason why it's important to me, quite frankly, is self-care. Why self-care? How self-care? Well, first off, this is me time. All right, this is time for myself where I can actually sit down, leave the world back there, and take a little time each week to do these things. It's important because it's restorative. I want you to stop for a moment here. When I started planning, I was in a place, I'm serious here. I worked full time. I worked part time. I was raising a son. My son has learning differences. And oh, by the way, I was working on a doctoral dissertation. Can you, no wonder I was so afraid. So I don't know that I had time for me. In fact, I would say not having time for me was the norm. And so I needed time. I realized then that the biggest thing we have is time, and I wanted something restorative. So planning is self-care. Planning for me is me time, restorative time. To be honest with you, setting up these planners helps me set myself up for good things. And this is where, and I've been there. So understand something. When I talk to you, I'm talking from my heart because I've been through these things. When are you proactive in your life and when are you reactive? Proactive versus reactive, right? And there have been plenty of times where I have felt very reactive. And part of what drew me to this was the fact that I could create a more proactive life and envision for myself better things. It doesn't matter where you are in life. If you're in school, if you're a young professional, if you're juggling kids, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're on the cusp of retirement or you are retired, or maybe you're like me, you're chronically ill and maybe you work part-time, maybe you work full-time, maybe you can't work. I mean, there's so many different pathways that we're on. And so I just want to say that if you feel like things are just out of your control and it's not going the way you want, and life often doesn't, let's be clear about that. One way to set yourself up is to create this kind of proactive space. I never thought of it that way. A proactive space where you can add some structure to your life. So my number one reason is it's a form of self-care. Sitting down, this is a paper pack. In fact, let me dig it out here. I've actually got it right near me. Is this from Amy Tangerine. I'm probably going to use it again in September. The art of cutting this, adhering it. I got out some stamps. I got out my markers. Is time spent on nurturing myself. And the double step process, okay, makes me aware of so often we want to get to the end goal. I'm going to use my doctorate as an example. I wanted my doctorate. I was working and work. It took me forever. And, I had people who were criticizing me because it took me forever. But you know what? I did it. I stuck it out and I did it. And in the end, I should have enjoyed the process of getting there more. It was so stressful that I don't think I fully enjoyed it. And as such, I feel like I missed out on what could have been a more enriching experience. So that's where some of this comes in, because once you get to the top of the mountain, then it's kind of like, wow, now what, right? And so the double step process here and this kind of being proactive helps me savor moments as I'm going through them. I'm currently writing. I have written a number of, professionally speaking, museum exhibits and working on things like that. But personally, I've started to submit articles. I have a children's book, which is done, but I'm tweaking the graphics. If you want to be, it's done. I'm just tweaking graphics and making sure the legalese is all good. And the reason I'm not rushing to get it out is because I'm savoring the process. It's not that I have fear of getting it out. It's a fun book, fun series, fun characters, a lot of emotional intelligence in there. But I want to savor that process. So that's part of why this double step process holds me accountable, because I'm more likely to stick with a planner if I've written in it and I've decorated. Even if it's minimal like this, I'm still more likely to use it. And it also makes me more mindful of what I'm doing. So let's talk about hidden talents. If you just use stickers and you just play with markers, great. But through this, I have discovered that I'm more creative than I realized. And I'm surprised at that. I never thought of myself as creative. And so it's made me think about how does your self-perception impact the things you're doing? How many times do you think, well, I'm not fill in the blank, but you don't really know because have you really tried? It's a good question, isn't it? If you don't know because you haven't tried, well, then you really don't know. And so I would suggest, I will say on this channel, I'm not an artist, but I am a creative, it turns out. And the other fourth point about creativity and discovering your creative, incidentally, these are paint dots that I put in here. I'm having fun with glitter paint. I don't know if you can see it's really funky in here. Creativity in one spot gives you creativity in other spots. So what am I doing because of the creative spaces in my planners? I'm baking more. I'm trying new things. I'm writing more. I feel like the creative process, it's fun, it's relaxing, it's me time, it's self-care. But creating in and of itself now, I had 2 weeks here where I did not decorate and I felt it. I felt kind of yucky not doing it. I was doing advocacy work for rare disease work for funding, and hearing some of those parents' stories with their chronically ill children kind of derailed me, if you want the truth. So I took 2 weeks from this and I felt it. I really did feel like, ugh, what am I doing? Anyway, this idea of being creative in this space has infused other areas of my life with creativity. And that's an unanticipated, wonderful thing. I haven't planned for next week here yet, as you can see. But yeah, I feel like I am more creative in other areas of my life because I create these spaces. I'm going to show you a few more spaces. I'm just going to pratter on a little bit longer. But I want to show you different types of spaces where you can create and how to create. If it hadn't been for these moments engaging in these spaces, I think I would feel a lot more anxiety. I struggle with anxiety. I know a lot of people do, and I'm not ashamed to discuss it. Incidentally, that's Jasper from Simply Gilded. Isn't that the cutest ever? Really? Sorry, I digress. I think I would feel a lot more anxiety. There would be a lot more spinning my wheels. And now, honestly, I can go through these and I feel not only happy with what I've done and what I've created, but I feel a real sense of accomplishment. Like, hey, I'm doing cool things. And then having this channel, having this space, I love the fact that I get to interact with people and that maybe I can inspire them as well. That's really important for me. To whom much is given, much is expected. And that's how I feel at this point. And I also feel that, gosh, between, marriage, divorce, getting married again, everything, life has been not so easy sometimes. And I want you to know, friends, you're not alone. You're not alone in your struggles. And I still have days where the anxiety will gear up. But I also know, we are meant to do good in this world. And creating, it all started with a paper planner, some stickers and washi, and it just went from there, if you can imagine. And so, and you don't have to spend a fortune. That's the other thing I wanted to share with you. I picked up this journal from Mercari. It's an Erin Condren Dockrid journal. I have to update it. Maybe next week I'll do that. I'm a little behind in here. Okay, so I use stickers and inking in here, right? But this was $5. I picked it up. It was brand new. It was $5. And I've used washi that I have. I use stickers. I did buy more stickers this past year to restock. And I'm just having fun in here. These, I love these. This reminds me of a quilt. These are my diagonal waterfall tabs. And so this is just a memory keeping journal, and I'm keeping track of fun things, but also mundane things and people and places and things that we do. And I love this space. And it isn't expensive. It's not, it's just creative. If you told me that I could create these fun, pretty designs, I would have been like, who, me? I like this one a lot, actually. Who, me? No, not me. I'm not creative. So try it. Go online. I not only create on YouTube, but I watch a bit of YouTube. And so I create journals. I do all these things, and I'm really enjoying in a variety of spaces the process and the self-care and the joy that creating brings. So I just want to finish up by offering you a few final tips, okay? If you don't want to spend the money on expensive markers, don't. I pick these up off of Amazon, and they've been great. You can find plenty of inexpensive markers at Amazon, or as I said, Pop Shelf, right? And I do have Tombows, and I'm slowly building my collection, but I'm taking time. I mean, we're talking years of building it up. If you're not willing to spend money on stickers, and I get that, the thing with the sticker is once it's done, it's done. I picked this up at Scrapbook. You can also find these different stencils at Amazon. Create your own boxes. Create your own spaces. I often use these with, let me find them on my desk here. I use them with these. These cost nothing practically. And I originally bought a 12-pack to see if I was going to use them. They were like 99 cents. Then I expanded for more colors with this one. I could even buy a larger one. Here are some more stencils I've gotten. This from Hobby Lobby. Also Hobby Lobby. Same thing. I mean, I just love stencils, and some are really large. It depends on what you're using. These are just border stencils that I use all the time. But you can reuse them with ink. You can reuse them with stencil butter. You can use modeling paste mixed with paint, meaning it'll go a lot longer than other items. You can reuse it and reuse it and reuse it. As I showed you before, this was, I think, $20 from Amazon, and I am nowhere near done with it. I've used it for a total of 4 months, so 2 months in one planner, 2 months in another. And I anticipate using it again in September. And I save pieces that when I cut things out, I save the pieces. Why not? I'll use those. This is a really small pack I've used a lot from Paper Studio, Hobby Lobby, which again, buy it at 40%. This one and the next one were from Joann's. I picked those up on sale as well. And I love this. I don't know that it'll come out, but there's some foiling in here. And you can use these. You can cut them. You can use a paper punch. You can create shapes. You can use these and create, if you have different planners you want to tip in, or you want to create a dashboard or divider. Why not create your own? This is a small little pack with colors and glitter. I love glitter. So those are just some ideas. I have a bit of washi, but I guess not as much as other people. You don't want to overbuy on washi because it doesn't last as long as other things. So it dries out. If you don't use it, you lose it. So I tend to de-stash a lot. But yeah, that's it, friends. I just want you to understand that it's not just a planner for me. It's not just planning. It's not just decorating. It's all of it combined just brings me an absolute sense of more peace than I've had in quite some time. And another reason why, let me show you this new little thing I've gotten. Another reason why I don't like to spend a lot on my planners is because I like to change them up sometimes. I like to swap out the covers, the binders. I create new spaces. And this is a small composition book from Dollar Tree I'm using for brain dumping. This is the latest trend, which I'm never on trend, but it was $6.99. And even in here, I'm creating, and it's a more functional system in here, but I'm making it pretty and I'm making it work for me, and I'm just having fun with the whole thing. So that's it, planner friends. I have to get in for next week here, but be creative, have fun, and really know that you might discover you have some hidden talents, and that's a cool thing. Thanks for being here, planner friends. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye now, friends.